Hey ghosts, today we're going to be doing a lens review. Today we have the 23mm f2, the 33mm f1.4 linear motor, the 23mm f1.4 linear motor, and finally, the big surprise, this big guy, the Zeiss Otus 28mm f1.4. Everything is going to be filmed on the Fujifilm XH2s in f-log2, ProRes, and 6.2 gate open gate. Let's get into it. For this first blind test, I'm going to be showing you 3 of my favorite lenses. Let me know which lens you prefer, which focal length. Lens A, B, or C. You can pause here and rewind if you need to. I'm going to show you the results in 5 seconds. Now, the first lens is the 23mm f2. It's small, lightweight, compact, and the autofocus is, in my opinion, one of the best for the previous generations of lenses. This lens has really great contrast. That's a really big point, I think, for video. Next lens is the 23mm f1.4 linear motor. This is the second generation. This lens is very, very sharp, and it's fantastic for photos. But in my opinion, I think it's too sharp, and it lacks a little bit of contrast even compared to the old f2 version. It's also worth noting that the focal length is a little bit narrower compared to the old 23mm. The next lens is the 33mm f1.4 linear motor. This is, in my opinion, one of the best lenses that Fujifilm makes for the APS-C camera. It's extremely sharp, great bokeh, good compression, contrast. This focal length is great for narrative work or talking heads or anything where you really need a little bit of compression. The final lens is the Zeiss Otus 28mm f1.4 full frame EF mount lens. It's extremely expensive, but I got it at a great discount. This lens is comparable in image quality to some of those cinema glasses you see on high production movies like the Zeiss Supremes. The contrast on this lens is amazing. The bokeh is amazing, the depth is amazing, and the color rendition, it's really, really color accurate. This lens is going to give you something Fujifilm glass can't give you, which is that 3D texture, that 3D pop, which is really important for that cinematic look. Zeiss has been even making lenses for RA, so that should give you an idea. Top of that, manual focus is no problem. It's actually even fun. This is because the focus string is so smooth, so that when you do get that perfect rack or that perfect focus, it's just so much more rewarding. Now, what do I mean when I refer to that 3D effect, that Zeiss pop? The bokeh on the 33mm is really nice. It's blurry, however, the subject is still on the same 2D plane as the objects behind it. It's just blurrier, whereas the images from the Zeiss almost look like they're taken from a larger sensor. It's very easy to see which objects are closer versus which objects are back. Now, I'll allow you to make your own judgment, but in my opinion, the Zeiss Otus is the best lens here, followed by the Fujifilm 33mm f1.4. Now, if you like photography, I think the linear motor 23mm is definitely better. You have definitely better bokeh. Chile also prefers this lens for video. However, in my opinion, I think the contrast is better on the 23mm f2, and so I prefer that lens. It's also smaller and lighter and cheaper. I always recommend that lens. Now, regarding photos, that's completely different. This channel, I really do focus on video and filming, but For example, the Zeiss Otus has great bokeh and great depth, but I often find myself preferring the photos that come out of the 33mm f1.4. For some reason, I don't know why, the rendering is slightly different, and maybe Fuji native glass is optimized for the camera. I would say that if I'm going to take photos, I actually prefer the 33mm f1.4 compared to the Zeiss for photography. But for video, of course, the Zeiss is probably going to be king. But once again, I'll let you decide. So I hope you enjoyed this video, or at least found it useful. This is my first review, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if there's anything I can do better. This channel for me is really kind of like a diary or a blog where I can sort of write out my ideas, write out my thought process while I'm improving my craft, which I really do enjoy. I just love cinematography. So if you want to watch more of this type of content, don't forget to follow me.